All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're embarking on something absolutely mind-blowing. We are going to explore a map of reality so vast and cinematic, it honestly makes our entire solar system look like a tiny speck of dust. We're looking at the Buddhist cosmology of the 31 planes of existence, which was beautifully detailed and mapped out by the Venerable Suvano Mahathera. If you've ever found yourself wondering exactly where we fit into the grand infinite scheme of the cosmos, well, you are definitely in the right place.
Okay, let's dive into this. The ancient texts describe a universe on a scale that is just staggeringly massive. We aren't just talking about one heaven, one earth, and one hell. The Buddha actually described millions of world systems, and every single one of them contains these 31 distinct planes of existence. And the engine that keeps beings moving through this endless, breathtaking cycle of birth and death? It's our own actions, our karma. Every single choice we make is quite literally propelling us through this cosmic landscape. So, here is our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll start with the cycle of samsara, then descend into the four woeful planes. From there, we'll shoot upward into the sensuous heaven realms, move even higher into the realms of form and light, reach the absolute pinnacle in the formless, immaterial world, and finally, we'll talk about breaking the cosmic cycle altogether. The cycle of samsara. All 31 planes are categorized into three distinct worlds. At the bottom, we have the sensuous world, or Kamaloka, which has 11 planes. This is where we hang out, totally dominated by our five senses. Right above that is the form world, Rupa Loka, with 16 planes made of fine material and pure light. And at the very top is the formless world, Arupa Loka, with 4 planes of pure mind. Now, the absolutely crucial thing to grasp here is that this isn't some system of divine reward or punishment handed down by a creator. Not at all. It's a completely natural, mechanical law. Your mental conditioning simply attracts you to the corresponding frequency of existence. Understanding that, we need to brace ourselves because we're about to descend into the lowest, most agonizing depths. Section 2. The Four Woeful Planes. The lowest plane of all is Naraya, the Hell Realm. And the source text brings this to life with this visceral, almost claustrophobic horror. I mean, imagine a criminal being struck by 300 spears every single day. The Buddha explained that the pain of those 300 spears doesn't even count as a fraction compared to the suffering of hell. It's a place of continuous, piercing torment where you literally have zero opportunity to do any good. As this description points out, beings might be plunged into a red-hot metal cauldron, cooked in a swirl of froth. But as horrific as this is, remember that fundamental rule we talked about. It is impermanent. Even if a being is stuck there for millions of years, it's temporary. It is simply the extreme result of one's own deeply unwholesome karma, like murder or extreme cruelty, just running its natural course until it's finally exhausted. Moving slightly up from hell, we find the 3 other woeful states. There's the animal realm, which might look free to us sometimes, but it's actually a state bound entirely by fear, instinct, and this desperate daily search for survival. Then there's the Pataloka, the realm of hungry ghosts. Think about how our earthly behaviors manifest. Extreme, unyielding greed literally turns beings into ghosts with giant stomachs, but tiny mouths, rendering them eternally unsatisfied. Finally, the Asuras, or demons, who are locked in relentless warlike conflict. Okay. Let's take a deep breath and shift our tone dramatically. We're leaving the darkness behind, passing right by the human plane for a second, and stepping into the heavens. Section 3. The Sensuous Heaven Realms. Welcome to the upper tiers of Kamaloka. There are 6 of these heavenly realms, and the cinematic beauty here is just staggering. Beings aren't born as babies. They literally appear spontaneously as vibrant, radiant 20-year-old adults. They live in jeweled mansions, nestled in lush green foliage with crystal-clear lakes, enjoying this timeless peace and unimaginable sensual pleasure. But, there's a hidden danger here. Yes, their bodies produce no waste, they eat celestial food, and they never age. But this supreme comfort, it's actually a massive spiritual booby trap. Because there is almost no suffering, there is absolutely zero motivation to meditate or practice any sort of spiritual growth. It leads to severe complacency. And when their good karma finally runs out, they can plummet straight from this jeweled paradise right back down into the woeful planes. So let's move higher still, crossing a major cosmic boundary where human-like sensual desires completely vanish. Section 4. Realms of Form and Light. We've reached Rupa Loka, the 16 realms of form. To get here, you don't just act nicely. You have to master deep, profound meditation, known as jhana, while you're still on Earth. The beings here, called Brahmas, have completely eradicated sensual desire, ill will, and even gender. They possess extremely refined bodies made of pure, self-radiating light. Their faces literally light up their surroundings. It's a realm of immense, undisturbed peacefulness. But there is still a higher summit. Let's reach the absolute climax of this cosmological hierarchy.
Section 5. The Formless Immaterial World.
This is Arupaloka, and I really want you to focus entirely on the immense conceptual weight of this realm. It is mind only. There is absolutely no physical matter here whatsoever. Beings in these top 4 planes have no bodies, which naturally means they can experience zero physical suffering. They exist strictly as pure consciousness, dwelling in spheres of infinite space or infinite consciousness for incomprehensible lengths of time. So exactly how vast is this entire system? Well, 1 trillion. That is the number of world systems, each containing these 31 planes, according to the ancient texts. And the beings inside them wander for eons, or kappas. Now, to put a kappa into perspective, imagine a solid rock, 7 miles long, 7 miles wide, and 7 miles deep. Once every century, someone comes along and lightly rubs it with a fine piece of cloth. The time it takes to completely wear that giant rock down to nothing, that is 1 kappa. And we have all been wandering through this system for countless kappas. Which actually brings us dramatically back down to Earth for our final section. Because with all this vast cosmic scale, we really need to connect it directly to your everyday reality. Section 6. Breaking the Cosmic Cycle. Among all these fantastic extremes, from the blazing cauldrons of hell to the radiant, timeless light of the formless heavens, why does the Buddha teach that our specific, flawed, totally messy human existence is actually the ultimate prize? The answer is perfectly captured in what we call the human advantage. The human realm is the only plane with a perfect mixture of pleasure and pain. Think about it. In heaven, you're way too distracted by pleasure to seek liberation. In hell, you're in too much agony to think clearly. But our realm, it provides the exact necessary friction to understand the true nature of existence. It is the only real launchpad for practicing insight meditation or vipassana and attaining nibbana, which means breaking the cycle of rebirth entirely. And yet snagging a human birth is incredibly rare. The Buddha used an amazing, really vivid metaphor for this. Imagine the earth is covered entirely in water. A wooden yoke with a single hole floats on the surface, just being blown randomly by the wind. And a blind sea turtle comes up for a breath of air just once every 100 years. What are the chances that turtle pokes its head perfectly through that single hole? I mean, it's practically mathematically impossible, right? But that is exactly how rare it is to be born human, right now, with access to these teachings. And this brilliantly illustrates the ultimate choice we have. Ignorance is remaining like blindfolded passengers on a speeding train, wandering aimlessly through samsara, driven entirely by craving, destined to just bounce back and forth between heaven and hell. But wisdom? Wisdom is waking up, recognizing this incredibly rare, fleeting human opportunity, cultivating mindfulness, and breaking the cycle once and for all. So as we wrap up this explainer on the 31 planes of existence, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. You are literally holding the ultimate cosmic lottery ticket right now in this human life, in this endless, sweeping cycle of rebirth. What seeds will you plant today? Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible cosmic ascent. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next explainer.